That's why I said this is going to be one of the best ones that I give. I'm going to teach you some techniques to talk to your inner self, to the Most High. If you have to get away and go where everybody is not present, right? Go there. We have been programmed to say, if it don't go live stream, brother, let's let this, we got it. Don't even worry about that. This the Most High be moving right now. But if you make it happen, brother, I love you. If you don't, I love you still more. You know, that's my man Spitch. But you don't have to stay inside the box of your everyday routine. Whatever it is. If you find that you can't get peace of mind, step out of the environment for a couple of minutes. 30 minutes, an hour, wherever everything else that you are having a problem with is. Nothing wrong with going into the wilderness, put your boots on and say, you know what, I don't want to sit in this house right now. I don't want to hear all this crap right now. I'll come back at a different time. Put your boots on and go into a natural setting somewhere and just relax and take that in. After a while, what used to be cold don't be cold anymore. Then your thoughts get clear and you're like, I got so much other stuff I can be dealing with. Then you can put things in proper order for yourself. That's why the ancestors always say go to the water. That's a code. Going to the water means going to cleanse yourself. Are you with me? So don't be scared to change routines. We're dealing with spell work. Hip-hop is spell work. This is science as you get when you come into this level of this art form. Everybody like to walk around talking about they know about hip-hop. If you don't do it, you don't know it. And anybody under a certain age really, unless they're studying deep, have not found this. Because this takes years to build up into. I'm telling you some things that are known by musicians, master musicians right now. Yeah, are you with me? These are some things I'm showing. So, things that's been put into your memory. We'll be back at that word. You have to detox them. Everything is not you. This is how mind control works. This is how gaining back your life, or knowing your life, or getting or building your life, this is how it works. Knowing what's your perspective and what's everybody else's perspective is. You got to be clear on which one is it. Like everything we put inside of our memories with a rhythm, it's like, why am I repeating that? One side of you may look at that from another angle and meditate on what you keep repeating out your mouth to say. Is that right? Because whatever you repeat the most is whatever you're giving the most energy to. Are you with me? Oh, today is going to be a day where you're going to say, oh my God, this is what they didn't want to give you. Because then you become masters. This is what the masters study. Rick Rubin, okay, studies meditation. Go push Rick Rubin on the phone right now and you will see nothing but how to sit in silence and meditation. Who is Rick Rubin and why is he important? One of the architects of, not so much hip hop, but he's one of the architects of rap music as far as the distribution and the exposure and all these things work. Behind the scenes, he's one of them. But he's talking about sitting in silence. Don't a lot of us young brothers and sisters in the inner city need to learn how to sit in silence? To heal and detox ourselves? Why is it that the science that our ancestors used to perfect life is practiced by everybody else except us? That has to stop. So I'm putting the crook in the game. I don't even know this about that's a figure of speech. You know what it means. Putting the cog in the wheel. Who's Rick Rubin? He's one of the founders of Def Jam. Everything I'm teaching you about is what he studies. And more. So this is an art. This is an art of your ancestors I'm giving you. Inside of you, and I'm going to go ahead and then we're going to read it. There's something called a everybody say phonological?
Phonological. That's PH.
Yep. Loop. And most of us who were born in the 70s grew up on a what? If you were born before 1988,
a record player.
Thank you.
Record
You
brand.
grew up hearing music off
Do a
of
diamond needle.
Go ahead. Come
Do a
on.
diamond needle.
33s. Thank
Fair
you.
word, phonological loop.
Phonological loop. Yes.
I remember the penny when it felt down.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What you know about turning the head upside down so you can play the record backwards? Putting the weight down.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, somebody beat somebody. I watch my tongue. I know somebody got beat real bad. Wow. Even when I seen that, I'm like, oh, God. Okay, so that's deep. This is how information is stored within your memory. Now that you know what your memory really is, that is the composite, it is the center of your being. All societies survive off of their memories. All film and anything that is visual or based upon dreams is dealing with something that is being encoded within the what? Memory. So that's why you got to watch sometimes what you put inside your, because things are written and produced to be encoded into your particular memory. Movies are based off of not just somebody's cockamamie idea. I just want to make a movie. Here you go. I just want to make a movie. They make movies based on the things they feel, the social thing, and the things that you go through in society, and then actually getting that.
Anybody else in here is an athlete, right? But zone, right? For instance, if I'm playing basketball or something, and I get hit a little bit harder than usual, right? I will black out and I won't hear anything around me. And I'll just go into a zone. It'll be like tunnel vision. I'll hit 9 jump shots in a row and just be spazzing for a period like
That's
2
called
minutes.
trance.
And then I'll snap out of it and then everything's back to normal.
That's called triggering you to move faster.
Pain goes away and everything.
And conscious thought has to be suspended for something to be changed. And that's also dealing with what they call the reptilian complex in the brain, which deals with survival. The mammalian cortex, and you got the reptilian cortex. Right. This is all parts of the brain, and each part of the brain has certain muscles, certain organs that are connected to it more. And when certain things happen, it knows how to trigger the body's memory or your subconscious memory to make a move. This is real. This is why even roaches run. Everything in nature has a program in it from beginning. See? So yeah, that's your zone. Now somebody else is a drummer. They may black out and the music. What you think you hearing, they hearing something way out.
You can look at them and tell.
And they gone, and you can't pull them back until it's done, and then they drop. People who dance go into trances, and they won't stop until they drop, or someone changes something in the environment. But they're in trance. You ain't gonna pull them out. You try to pull them out, they might slap you.
That's what a music critic said about one time when Mongo Santa Maria played at Yankee Stadium.
Right.
They said he was in a zone.
Mm-hmm.
No one could just touch him because it just infected everybody, and people were rushing on the stage.
Right.
You know.
And this is that, and you can learn to tap into that energy without even being triggered. You can practice going in the zone. It's just that when it's a natural high, though, it's not calculated. It's nature calibrated, if you understand what I mean. Because sometimes conscious thought can slow a person down.
It ain't something that I could just
Go into.
into.
What I'm about to say. I just gave a key.
Right.
Conscious thought has so many different programs. It blocks. It many times blocks so-called human potential. You understand what I'm saying? We can be programmed to not release our ultimate. And at most part, in this society, we are. I can prove it to you. 80% of the music that young people his age and a little bit older, how old are you again? 13, right? You're 13. People from the ages of even, I could say, 5 years old, that means a point where they can literally verbalize everything to you, even before then. But particularly at 5, you see the personality, you see everything. are being encoded with songs that actually celebrate death. I'm surprised that nobody doesn't talk about it more.
Griff.
Well, Griff speaks about it and drops it, but I'm talking about the technology behind it. See,
Mm.
once you're aware of a thing, that's one thing. Once you go into attack it and to stop it, it's a whole nother thing. It's almost like you boxing in the ring and so you start to find out your defense mechanism, your timing and defense is not that great. Okay, you know that now. So what's the next step? Train to be faster. Train to be smarter.
Study your opponent.
Right. How can a whole society of children and people all over the world get hypnotized into speaking depth? But if I walk up to you with a Tech 9 right now and put it in your jaw, your whole body would freeze. But we can celebrate it and speak it every day and don't think that our subconscious mind is being trained to accept death or to be murdered. And remember, who's responsible for the top 10 on the radio? What's that question?
The CIA
Thank you.
and OSS.
OSS, CIA. When radio was first created and the programming for the radio, we're talking about music programming, was invented and started by the OSS. The first two people that dealt with radio programming were former CIA agents. That's why certain music always makes the cut, because it's pushing agendas and products and at a certain emotion that's connected to a certain people, place, or thing. I can't come up here no more and play games. Everybody want to talk about an enemy, but I'm saying, so what do you do now? Got a 4-year-old rapping about being a pimp. Hey. And then you beat him later on when he act like one. Why does he do so bad in school? Well, shit, listen to the music you got him singing. Listen to the music you got her singing. I mean, hey, I play music with children. I listen to the music that's coming out. I stay current. I'm not no old man. To them, I might be. But I stay in it. That's why I'm staying young. What are they programming inside the children?
Violence.
Thank you.
They trying to break that bond between man and woman too.
Yeah, well, that's been going on for the longest. But now the best way to do that
Music is the best.
So can we get into the works now?
Let's go.
Can I go into the booklet?
Come
Here
on.
we go. I know you've been reading. I've been watching her read the whole thing the whole time. That's cool because she jumped way ahead. Yeah, it's powerful, ain't it? I dug in my books with this one. The working memory. Memory used to be regarded as a simple library with a long-term store, childhood memories, and so on, and a short-term store, a temporary holder in which information is retained for as long as it is needed, then discarded. As experimental techniques became refined, however, it has become clear that there is no rigid dividing line between memory and a thought. Let's say that again. It has become clear that there is no rigid dividing line between a memory and a thought. A new term has therefore crept into use to describe how we juggle perceptions, memories, and concepts. Working memory. Professor Alan Bailey of Bristol University has developed a model of working memory based on 3 parts. Let's go up to the diagram, because diagrams are easy to read. Yes, that's why I like to use them. You have the visual spatial sketch pad. That means all the things that you see or all the things you imagine, the visual aspect of your memory. All the things you ever seen or all the things you will draw up from the archetypes of your mind. There's a visual sketch pad. There's the phonological loop and the central executive, the president, the presiding, right? Okay. The central executive coordinates the central executive part of the memory, coordinates information from a number of sources, directs the ability to focus and switch attention. It organizes incoming material and the retrieval of old memories, and combines information arriving via two temporary storage systems. And that is the visual spatial sketch pad, which holds images, and the phonological loop that holds acoustic and speech-based information. Take your pen and put an arrow next to the very one. If I was talking about movies, I would go to the visual part, the visual spatial mark. But since we're talking about hip-hop music, music in general, R&B, soul, we're talking about people speaking language, we're going to go to peace. Here you go. I'm sorry. Thank you. Since we're talking about the phonological loop, we're talking about music, we're talking about lyrics, I want you to put your hand on that, brother. The phonological loop holds acoustic and speech-based information. That means there's a part of the memory that plays a heavy role in absorbing everything you hear and storing it in the memory. This is where music is so important. This is where rap music power really pumps in.
Hey, loop means over and over again, right?
Loop, yes, sir. Say that again for us.
Loop means over and over.
Loop means over and over again. The greatest computer in the world is the quote-unquote human mind. I put that in quotations too, that word human. You all right?
No, I'm just a chair.
Oh, get a better chair, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So the phonological loop is encoding lyrics, is encoding songs, is encoding your favorite song, and that favorite song then becomes an imprint. I'm sorry, excuse me, bro. It becomes an imprint within your memory. Now you can begin to what? Repeat and recite. Anything that you begin to repeat and recite is being stored in your subconscious. From your subconscious, it goes into your emotions. That's why even a certain look can emit a feeling. Are you hearing me? That's why a certain sound can, or a certain song can make people automatically feel a certain way. It's inside of the memory and it's connected to other thoughts, actions, and feelings. Are you with me? Pavlov's dog. There's the other side of this, and what they would call, there's two types of psychology too. People sometimes forget it. There's psychology based upon psychoanalysis, and then there's behaviorism. Behaviorism is being able to do certain physical things, right? And connected it to a certain thought. And every time that physical trigger is present, a certain thought or emotion is tapped into. Like for instance, Pavlov's dog, every time they rung a bell, they were feeding him food. So every time a bell was rung at a certain point, the dog would begin to salivate, even when no food was present. Well, they do that with people. They do it in school. It's called a school bell. We don't even realize that during high school, if you went to high school, if you went to junior high, any of these schools, they dismissed us based on what? Bells. In fact, and before that, it was factories. They dismissed workers based upon what? Whistles and bells. Are you with me? So what I'm teaching you about is how programming works. Why certain songs are stored in your memory, and when that song comes back on, it makes you feel a certain way. I can sing a certain song and bring back memories from times that you have not been in 30 years. And radio does it beautifully. They know exactly what time to start the Christmas songs. They know exactly what time to stop the Christmas songs. Seasons. Certain songs and certain things tap into certain emotions. Are we together? Mm-hmm. All right, I don't lose nobody. We on the train. Brain imaging studies at the Wellcome Department of Cognitive Neurology have found that there are three parts, that the three parts are echoed precisely in the activity seen when people carry out cognitive tasks. There's the phonological loop, the Broca's area, which is the inner speech, and the phonological stage, which is the inner voice. Wait a minute. Stop. What's inside? What part of we got something in the brain called the what?
Inner voice.
You got something in the brain called the what?
Inner voice.
Oh, so don't tell me I don't have voices in my head. Checkmate. I'll win this round. Took us 30 years to get here. Saturn and Pluto, we on the move, baby. Don't tell people that they don't have voices in their head. When the people who study brain topology, brain neurology, is letting you know that there's a part of your brain that speaks. And there's a part of your brain or your mind, which is using the brain as an organ. And the mind is nothing but the consciousness of the spirit. Right?
Right, yeah.
So your brain has a part that's designed to help trigger an inner voice to you. Who designed that? That's pretty brilliant. Okay, so you say God. I say cool. That's God. That's one word. Creator, another word. Mother, Father, another term. Whatever term you bring, it is. I am who I am. Right? The Creator. The great I am. That intelligence that not only created the universe, but is the universe. So what is sin? Is nothing but evolution of creation. It has to happen. After a certain amount of cycles, it should not be happening. And if it is after a certain amount of cycles, then something is blocking evolution, which then means that's another part of what? Evolution. We misuse that word evolution so bad. And every time we hear it, we think about monkeys, and that's just one side of it. Evolution is the cycle of things that are happening over and over till it reaches a climatic point for something to be formed or changed. Revolution is going right back into another cycle to return something to another time and space for change to happen. Are you with me? So inside of you, there is a place in your brain chemistry that is used for the inner voice. I guess God is real. Thank you. That I have a what? Inner voice. And cartoons and movies like to play it as your what?
Self-conscious.
Your self-conscious. Come on. Talk to me. One more time. Yeah. Or the two little angels or two little beings sitting on your shoulders talking back and forth. I guess that's left and right brain again. Are you seeing this? It's the same stuff. It's just different symbols. Now, the other part, if you look on your paper, is the essential executive. That's the midbrain. That's when all that information comes down the brainstem and is fed through the rest of the body. That's why they have something, and scientists have something called, you want to write this down, cellular memory. Your cells have a memory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You eat a certain thing that your body does not like, or something happens, your body has the ability, your cells have the ability to record that information from the DNA of other organisms through something they call reverse transcriptase. Your cells can take in material from other material antigens that come into the body. Now I'm going into biochemistry. Okay. We'll be walking together. I'm losing the body. Antigens come into the body. This is now the science of cells. When antigens come in, the cells, your lymphatic cells, reach these organisms that are coming in and take samples of this material. Then begin to create what they call antibodies against that material to push it out. That means the body has a what?
Defense system.
A defense system, but not just a defense system.
Memory.
A memory. So your cells have memory in them?
Absolutely.
So cells are alive. And the cell got a brain too. It's called the membrane. You see what happens when they take religion and put that way out there, and they take science and they put it way over there? That's the confusion. Keep you in darkness. Science and religion made the two never meet. That was said by Voltaire. One of the scientists in the 1600s and 1700s made that statement. Thomas Boyle, excuse me. That was a way to keep the public ignorant. Germs and spirits, germs and jinns are the same thing. So when our ancestors said there was jinns that were making you sick, what they were talking about was certain things that came in through your air pathways that invaded the body and now it's causing trouble. And the air that you breathe is your spirit. Ruach, or ruh, the breath.
This guy name come up in a lot of lectures.
Thomas Boyle?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's because these are the guys that took science from being alchemy to chemistry. All of the deep metaphysical mysticism that was in science, right? All the theological, philosophical ideas that was in science was separated from that. And they kept only the experimental part. And they gave that to everybody. And alchemy is well known that there's an effect that the moon has on your whole body in chemistry. So here's something that we should think about. If you're doing an experiment, under what circumstances are you doing the experiment? Under a full moon or a new moon? See? If you're doing it under a full moon, that's going to have heavy magnetic influences upon the experiment and upon you. That's why you record the dates and time when you do experiments. See the game? When you get medicine from your doctor, the medicine is prescribed for take this every what? 2 hours.
Twice a day.
See? Everything is based upon time and astronomy and astrology anyway. But they had to take it away from you and make it cheap so that you didn't believe in it. So once you don't believe in it, I can heavily use it. Game, peep, game. I'm sorry. Jesus, I say you are the devil. How can I be the devil and cast these demons out of the people? Anyway, so go to the next part, B, the visual spatial sketch pad. That's the part of the brain that is taking in, according to the biochemistry, visual images, everything that you've seen, okay, or everything that you will imagine, using symbols and archetypes and shapes. And of course, the central executive part of the brain, which takes all that information that's stored and sends it out to the rest of the body for whatever function that needs to take place. Now, since we're talking about music, we got to go back to that phonological loop. Turn the page. Matter of fact, I'm just going to keep rolling on, because everything I'm going to say is in italics. I'm going to make a pause for a minute and make a reference. If you are 8 years old, this is the part of me where the adult has to turn on. I have a part of me that's a child. I'm still a teenager, partially. But there's a part of me that is an adult. And I have to be, I'm honest with people. I don't play no games. I'm straightforward. There's a part of me that is a child. And there's a part of me that's an adult. But when you become an adult, you know when to turn stuff off. Children have to learn to turn it off and to take the next step to do what they have to do. We should never find ourselves in a position where we cannot identify with them or any young female or male young person among us. If we are, and if we do, we're doomed. And a lot of adults have their switch completely turned off and then come down on the young with 2 feet. Like you never did it before, or you never tried it, or you probably never what? Thought about it. So instead of compassion and teaching, we got a lot of beating and hurting and yelling. This is where violence again. And this whole society was founded on violence. That's the karma of America. That is the karma of America. It's violence. Everything that has been done here is violence. Okay, I gotta go there for a minute. I'm gonna go into
True.
everybody.
I wanted to kill my neighbor this morning over a parking spot.
See?
Violence.
I wanted him dead.
Violence.
Do you realize that what
I
I'm
wasn't going to do it, but it was here.
I know. Oh, God help us. And I'll say that with the deepest ancestral voice. So you know what God I was talking about, the one that brought us up out of this madness and still bringing us up out of it. Hear me? Parking spot. You ready to play a game with the words?
Let's do it.
Par, as in meaning pardon. King, from the king. Spot. This is a spot that I was given a pardon by the king. And for you to be in that parking spot, sometimes they put a what? Meter. And you're going to pay money to be in that parking spot for that amount of time. That's the amount of time that you are allotted by the damn king or the authority. And you're about to fight over a spot that you don't own or the next person's owning. So instead of going to the king and saying, you know, we need to talk about parking or the central authority, we sit there and fight in the street over a parking spot. You see, we under programs, all of us.
I have my own theory about parking spots.
Yeah, because really ain't no such thing.
That's what my neighbors say. But that's what it fits when they take my spot. That philosophy fits them.
Yeah.
Mine fits me.
Right. See,
My rent is $1,000, dog. I feel like it. I do not want to walk further than I should.
right. Well, you know, here's the
Just
thing.
because somebody took your, what? You know what I'm saying?
All right. So here's the thing that needs to be, you know what you need to do? You can actually, did you hear what I just said? Did I say central authority?
Uh-huh.
You can really go to the central authority or talk to, you live in a building?
No, man, I got a row house.
Okay. It's your house. So you can go to the central authority, king, parking, and vouch for that space in front of your door
Spot.
Paid up.
for your, your space
Yeah.
to be registered to your
No,
name.
you
So when
can.
your car, why do you think they have
You gotta
parking
pay
reserved for
month to
handicapped?
month.
They have parking reserved for ministers.
Right.
They have parking reserved for people
Everybody.
on their property.
True.
So you can vouch for that.
True.
But I think you gotta pay something like a month.
Parking. That's
Yeah.
why they got a meter
No,
when
I'm
you.
just saying you gotta pay something a month, but it could be done because Nicole did it.
Wow.
Parking.
I gotta look into that.
Did you-
They
everybody
put up
follow-
the little poles for you.
Yes. Thank you for following along. That's you see.
Maybe if I was a minister.
Maybe you just go down there and actually pay for it and pay for it.
Yeah, just show them. Tell them.
Are you see?
You get them money.
Are you, so do you see what I just did? We just went into the power of words and decipher what's going on in our conditioning. We would rather fight and beat each other up over the what? Parking spot, a partition given to you by an authority. You rather the proletariat, the people, are going to beat each other up over something that they have no control over. See, I'm not knocking how you feel.
Right,
I'm sorry. I'm showing you the programming because some people do kill over parking spots.
Oh, yes.
That's a damn shame.
Yes.
It is.
Because it's no different than when somebody came up on this land and murdered your and my ancestors for being here.
Whoa.
See, we sick. That's what my whole lesson is about today. How to overcome the sickness.
Is this sickness social programming?
Yes,
Or
it's
is there
always-
another word for
Yes, it's called psychic trauma,
it?
which is conditioning of a human being to act and live the way you want them to. Now, the first thing you got to remember they did to you for even speaking your language, they crashed your teeth out your skull and did it in front of your children. That made everybody go what? Silent. And the only thing they can do is mimic and through the association of words and objects, learn the English language, which we barely speak. Psychic trauma is fighting, hurting, and threatening, and forcing. Yes.
I experience it and I see it every day.
Yes.
It could be on the trolleys,
Mhm.
it could be on the buses.
Mhm.
You know, dude, it's rude, move in the back. You know,
It's a program. And that's why I went into music, because music is one of those subtle programmings. Are you with me? Music is a subtle programming, but it's interesting. I'm going to go in these scriptures, and I'm going to pull something out that's going to hit hard.
I think the ear has more influence on behavior than the eye.
It does, because everything started as vibration first. Light came second. Sound came first.
Sound produces light.
Everything started in blackness, darkness. And I don't usually use the word darkness. I'm going to say it proper. Blackness. Indigo. All life started in space. All life started with vibration. I hope I'm not too much on you. You all right? Okay, good. Because I go so J-a-teen sometimes. Thunder start coming out, and I can't hold it back. Everything starts in the dark, the black. And that vibration builds up. The universe came by way of vibration. We are the children of black matter. We are indigo. There is no time because we created time. We also produced light by way of sound. Sound is produced by light. Vibrating against the what? This black matter of space, tachyon. When it interacts and moves with itself and builds up to such a high vibration that light is created. It's called sonoluminance. They made a whole movie about it with Keanu Reeves. Sonoluminance. S-O-N-O-L-U-M-I-N-E. S-or-C-E-N-C-E.
S-or-C.
If you read a lot of books in Latin, you start seeing C sometimes use this S and S use the C.
Oh, the phone will correct you if you get it wrong.
Oh, but even with the phone,
Yeah.
if you read books that are in Latin, sometimes you notice that C and S is used interchangeably. So I've seen luminance written through two different ways already.
C and S are interchangeable.
Yes. And when you read older books and you write luminance, sometimes you'll see the word S-C-E-N-C-E, but sometimes you have used to see the word L-U-M-N-I-C-E-N-C-E. I've seen it before. It happens in old Latin all the time. So that's why I say either or. Sorry, y'all. My eyes, after reading 1,000 or more books down the line, I done seen words written so many different ways with codes. Words that
Z's, the S's, the Z's.
Mm-hmm. Just like there's no such thing as a W.
Right. Two V's.
Say what? What?
Two
There's
V's.
no such thing as a W.
Don't make
There's a
sense.
such thing as
Two
the sound
V's.
Y.
Why?
But there is no such thing as W.
Double
It's two
U.
V's.
It's just two U's.
Two
Two
U's.
U's.
Double
Yeah,
U.
double.
The capital
Double
is
U.
two U's, and
There,
the small
see?
ones is two U's.
We so used to just saying, that's why I pulled this out. We so used to saying the alphabet, we never even think about what we saying. W-X-Y-Z. And we've been saying this since we was babies. And then somebody say, you know, W is really not a letter.
That just messed his world up.
Why? W,
Yeah,
when
the
you put the
capital
two
is
U's
two
together,
V's and it's
then
two
creates the
V's.
tone
Two
and
U's.
shape
Okay.
Y.
W is two V's is the capital.
Right, and that's in Latin.
So the word Schwartz.
But it got something to do with numbers.
Yeah, the numbers
The
too.
U's represent a number. V's
21.
represent a number.
In the English alphabet, there's 26 letters. And some of these letters were created to produce certain sounds as well as create certain codes. And the oldest alphabet, there is only 22 letters. And some of the oldest alphabets, there's more letters than that. Because in the in some is more.
More?
Yes. Because in other cultures, they use more sounds than you do.
I thought the alphabet gets smaller when you go back in history.
The symbols make it smaller,
Right.
but the sounds are ultimate. And in some languages, there are more
Like
symbols.
they'll have an SH together as a
Yeah.
letter.
In Hebrew, there's 22 letters, or Canaanite, should I say. Canaanite Phoenician language, which is African. It's 22 letters. And in some it's more, some it's less. But if you study things like Sanskrit, right, or Tibetan, they got all types of letter combinations that make a multitude of sounds that we don't make because we speak what?
English.
Thank you.
Whatever they call it.
And that's one of the flattest tongues on it. It's not even a language, it's a tongue.
Who was that click
It's a code.
language you was talking
It's
about
not
last
a
week?
language because the English language is made up of all languages.
And that's why we can't express certain things in this language.
I said ish. Ish means like or as.
Right.
So English it's not a language.
Go ahead now.
So
Talk that.
English and
It's
Spanish
study up.
and
Ish
like that.
means like.
Ish.
What were you speaking last week with the click sounds in it?
That's called Kosa. That's from South Africa.
Oh, shit.
And that's all the click languages that goes back to the Bantu and even earlier than the Bantu. Those are click sounds that certain people still use. Now, it's interesting. The click sounds is made by two groups of people on the earth still, Africans and Asians. People in sub-Saharan Africa still use click sounds, and when you listen to the language of China, you also hear the same click sounds. Gum, ging, gum, lao, and get. That's because the two people are related by a group of people that still exist, and they are called the Kung. The Kung exist in Africa, and the Kung exist in China. Checkmate. So,
I took my Kindle.
so I mean, that was a tangent. We went on a real long tangent. I didn't want to go that far, but I'm sorry. That just shows that these studies go very deep, very deep, and there's a lot of stuff, information that is held, or data that's held behind these letters and these codes. So once you start studying them, it's like, wow, they hid that much information in one word. Yes, that much information, that much data. Listen to that term. Information is not a word, by the way. It's a term. Information. It is a command. It's a military command that got turned into a word. Information. And what do soldiers do? They gather data. That's the proper term. Yes?
Do you see any symbolism or anything like that in the movies The Hunger Games?
Oh, yes. Oh, God.
Come on.
Can I go back?
Games, are you
Write
serious?
that down. Everybody write down Hunger
Yeah.
Games, because I'm going to go back to...
I love that movie.
Oh, those are...
I read. You gotta read the first.
I ain't seen none of those.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
I saw the first movie, but I read all 3 books, and they were
Next
all
one.
awesome.
Thanks. What, The Hunger Games?
Hunger Games is full of symbols.
I took him to see
Oh, I'm going to go over it, but I'll go back. Let me finish this first, and we can go right back to that. Can I do that?
Sure.
All right, because I'm ready for that. That is full of stuff, and I'll just give you one key. It's based on the signs of Sagittarius and Scorpio. Every time the movie is released out to the public, it is done at the same date around the same time, November. And the symbol on the front cover is a woman with a bow and arrow, Sagittarius. The background of that woman is another sign, a phoenix, a bird on fire and flame. That's Scorpio. I don't want to give away the movie if you didn't see it, by the way. But we kind of knew the outcome anyway, if you read the books or anything.
Also means
Oh, yeah. And every time that movie comes out, there's always some type of major catastrophe that's happened during the year. This is Paris, the violence in the streets, political uprising. That whole series is about social revolution. The districts, Pan Am, One World Control. The whole it's conspiracy theory that Hollywood having fun playing with the psychodrama that you're going through.
what about the definition they gave for Pan Am? Bread and circuses.
Yeah, because we a bunch of animals. And give them bread and they act out. Give them bread, you control them.
You gotta have some understanding.
Are you with me? So we don't go too far. I'm trying to give you weaponry, divine weaponry. Can't nobody take this away once I give it. You already have it. I'm just trying to make you aware of it, really, through words and speaking and scientific data. In the scriptures it says, you all right? Tom is all right? Okay. Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be what? Be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. Selah.
My strength, my
Redemption. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Come on, say it with me. The assembly understands it. At the tip of the tongue lives life and death.
Yeah, life and death.
That's the book of Proverbs.
Which day in Proverbs?
Which originally we know that the book of Proverbs came from the teachings of who? Amenhotep. Or Ptahhotep. Are we there? Yes. I gotta take you into some more of my books in here. These books right up here, everything I say is a book that I have quoted. I've never said anything that is not in the written records. I'm in court. All speakers know that they are in court. I had to, as a teenager, I went to mock trial. I had to train in front of a real judge. So I was taught not to play with information, data. You come ready to fight, or you Go home. I'm sorry. That's the other side of it.
Go hard or go home.
And bring-
right?
And bringing information to help people, you can't play around. I was taught this as a child, not just in school. Taught this as a child in my home. If you don't have the facts, don't open your mouth.
Right.
And I seen people get tore up as a child, as a young person, as a teenager. Even the ciphers I used to travel in, brothers would fight. This is no game. In some places they would fight. You know what I'm talking about, because that's the era that you was around in. Cats got punched in their face trying to, not knowing what they was talking about. That's an era that's over because a lot of people dead because of that. Also. But anyway, let's move on. That's a past that don't need to be completely relived. Thought forms of speech. I'm going only to my italics. That makes this fast. In the physical world, we are known by our what? Speech. Our reticence. Right? Reticence means the things we recite or say over and over again. By the things we say or leave unsaid. We are judged by the quality of our conversation. In everyday activity, we all think and build what? Speech. Much of it is not worthwhile, or it is vitalized with the wrong kind of what? Energy. Speech is how we communicate while in the physical dimension. When we operate on other levels, our communications is less complicated. It operates along the lines of intuitive perception. Because words not only have meanings, they have vibrations and thoughts connected to them. Words are thoughts. And the beginning was the what?
Word.
Come on, let's take it back here. I know I'm in trouble now. Hey, yo. Right? In the beginning was the what?
Word.
Come on, you know it. There's nothing wrong with that. I love it. It's my ancestry. In the beginning was the word. In the Greek language that this book is written in, the word, it says logos. Write this down. L-O-G-O-S. But I use L-O-G-O just as it's by itself because logo, the image, is helping you to bring things back to your what? Memory. So the word logos does not just mean word, it means mind or thought. So every word you speak is a what? It's an emotion. Good. And an emotion is a what? Oh,
He's ahead of you, Levi.
it ain't hard. Emotion is just the energy behind or in a what? Which is the same what? Thing. Emotion is the baby of a what? Of a thought. You can run, you can ride, but you can't hide. As we grow and our energy capacities are amplified, the thoughts are built stronger. As we grow and our energy capacities are amplified, the thoughts are built stronger. Now, here we go back to that phonological loop. You ain't nothing. See the hip bobbing. You ain't nothing. And do you hear what I'm saying out of my mouth? You ain't nothing. It's tricky. But after they took the African chant power, word sounding power and chant, and laced it with bullshit. I'm sorry, son. No, you gotta realize they got you chanting down your own existence. They got you hurting somebody. And then on most albums, the only person that's getting hit, nigga, is another nigga, with another nigga, and another nigga, and another nigga, and another nigga, and another nigga. And if you was to trace half of the words between each line in the song, he always attacking a who?
Nigga.
See? And then they say, why won't the boys stop killing themselves? Because he hypnotized to killing niggas and he just thinks it's a song. But look how emotional we get with the music. And remember what I said in one of my other classes. The ear is the 8th cranial nerve that connects to the vagus nerve, which moves through the entire body. We are being programmed to feel and say things which are against our better judgment. I'm not going to play liar up here. They can keep me out of the whole program. They can keep me out of the club all they want. They know who I am and I know who they are. I don't want to sit up here and talk about corporations control people. Yes, you know that already. You know about the demonic people that walk on this plane. What's the defense? I don't have to yell no more about conspiracy theories. We are reciting to ourselves everyday lyrics that are against our own spirit. If no one wants to reveal this, then they are not your friend if they claim to be a teacher. But it's one of the most effective, powerful tools of social engineering. Have niggas hate niggas. And in every song you probably play from let's give a year, in 81, niggas wasn't killing niggas on albums. 86 is when you start seeing it creep. But it wasn't until 88 and 89
is when all
niggas
hell
started
broke
killing
loose.
niggas in the music, and they never stopped killing each other.
NWA went to the White House.
Now, I want you to look at some statistics. Look at the amount of violence that has increased over the years, and listen to the music and how it keeps pounding over in the head of the phonological loop of nigga kill nigga. Bingo, that's why I'm teaching you this. I'm going to teach you something grand and new. How to take that spirit out of your phonological loop. It's time to put another record on the spindle. It's time to clean the needle off. See, this was a time before you were born. Music used to be played on something called a phonograph. A record player, and you would put the needle on a record. I'm gonna show you one. We can show you one. And it played music off of a black plate, and you listen from there.
With a big cone on it.
So, just like putting a CD on. CDs are nothing but the new out. Hey, there we go. High five. So they went from reading sound and electric signals from the needle. Peep the move now. I'm about to make a connection. 1970s, 60s. 50s. What was the drugs based on?
Needle.
Needle?
Needles,
Needle? That's where music used to pump through your bloodstream. Think about it. Now, now new music is printed on a CD. That's let you know where we're going, or where we already been. Music is read through a light code, put in electrical signal, and picked up by a laser. We're on Star Wars, which also means that we are receiving sound via light. So we're receiving a hologram of sound. We're now hearing music that is being read by a laser. So that's the hologram. So music is now being downloaded by way of light code and then took it in by the body of sound back into the sound realm.
Is it generic compared to the record?
Yes. Certain music, if you hear it on a phonograph and you hear it on a CD, you will tell the difference. Okay, let me finish because they're going to answer your questions.
Right.
This is my realm. So wherever you're going to go with it, believe me, I done experimented with it. Like DOC's album, when you play it backwards, it's languages and messages in it. Yeah, I come from that era. I was around.
But look at a record under a microscope.
And it's etchings.
You see them shapes.
Yeah, shapes. Now I'm going to take you a little further. When you were a child, if you were around at this time when phonographs were popular,
I promise you I was.
do you notice if you let the song keep playing out, you can still hear the instruments and the band getting off the instruments? You can hear them finish singing sometimes.
You can hear them coughing in the sound.
You can hear all types of stuff at the very end of the song on the phonograph. But in today's music, you don't hear that.
It's a drop off.
All you hear is synthetic sound because today's music is all digital sound. It's holographic sound. You're not hearing a real instrument anymore. You're not hearing a real voice anymore.
You're not getting the vibration of the trumpet.
The vibration, that's why the music had to be turned up. Checkmate. All music, there's a book in here, it's in the $5 section called The Evils of the Music Industry. And it talks about how all the singers' voices were turned up. Originally, singers were singing opera houses and everybody in the opera house could hear them. particularly black singers too. That's what really messed them up. But what happens with certain singers, they realize they didn't have the voice. Way before I'll be sure.
Yeah, I know.
But that's one of the examples.
Yeah.
They started using the microphone systems and turning people up. So it gave them the illusion that they were singing loud. Are you understanding now the power to affect a person's voice? This is all psychochemistry. All of it. So just like you don't hear real music now, you don't eat real food. Sound, artificial.
Calcifying your third eye.
Food is what?
Is it calcifying your third eye?
Food is not coming from a root anymore. Food is now genetically modified organisms. So sound is not there anymore. The things that you smell, eat, and taste, and touch don't come from a root anymore. The light that you see is now under an artificial template. So the colors, the sounds, the foods, and even the cycles that we live under are affected. How do you change it? Sit still in nature. When's the last time you actually sat under a tree? 80% of the urban population rarely takes time out in any natural setting outside of electronic noise. So we're giving keys to unlock the door. Back to you. ADHD is produced by artificial environments. Known fact. The less nature you have around a group of people, the more nervousness you have inside of them. They took thousands of children who have ADHD out to a different environment, and all the key markers that they used to diagnose a child or person with ADHD, attention deficit disorder, all of them were gone. I want you to look up the children in the woods, the effect of nature on attention deficit disorder. You plug that in your phone, thousands of documents will come up. Scientists have already said it. So they know that the environment that they're creating is an artificial environment. And so you get artificial behavior.
So why don't they make changes to do the opposite?
Why would they?
And incorporate in schools like
No,
nature?
Why would
It's
now?
not conducive to their
Just that,
control.
you know.
Well, okay, party people. That's good, no.
I mean, I'm asking
She
the
put the
question.
she put the
just
question.
to see what, like,
Put the
just to
question
learn.
on. That was a beautiful question.
It was.
This was the part that I really tried to stay. I try to stay away from this one because I've spoken about it before. But it's real, so I can't run from it. We are under a program that is induced for population control. Straight up, I can't run from that. That's not even me saying that. That's in the records. So I'm just, as a person that is doing this exercise with you, going to let you know, creating an unhealthy atmosphere is a part of certain people's agenda. In Malthusian philosophy, sickness, death, war, and violence is measures taken, great measures, in nature to control populations. The idea of scarcity, scarcity, is a good thing to control people. If I can keep your energy levels on a low level, right? I can always keep you in a state of desperation. And this state of desperation, I can what? Affect and control and manipulate behavior. This is the part that I don't like to talk about because it makes me very angry. But at the same time, I have to be composed. This is real. It's happening to all of us right now.
They're doing it with the weapon.
I can look right at his food and see it that they're doing. But that's all right. Keep on eating. Don't get no anger at me. Just keep on eating. You all right. You enjoy your apple. Don't take. I'm not taking from enjoy your apple. But here goes something I want you to think about. And see, this is something that I do in my classes. But watch this. Before you take that bite, then finish it up. Then I'm gonna ask you a question after you finish chewing. And I'm gonna ask your elders in here. After 1988, did anybody notice that the fruits that you were eating had less and less seeds in them?
Yeah.
There's not a grape in the world with a seed.
Yeah.
No grapes.
Now look at your apple.
It has seeds.
Oh, it has seeds? Okay, you didn't get to that core yet.
I gotta go. Can I say one thing?
Yes.
I love you. I wanted to say that, but I gotta go.
Hey, listen.
But I wanted
You
to
can
say
donate.
about the seed thing.
Yes.
No matter where you go, they trying to force us to
Mhm.
eat artificial food. So every time you see something without a seed, please don't buy it because it's not real.
That's right.
And if you don't eat, we the original organic. So if you don't eat nothing real, which is really just organic, it's not gonna do you no good. It's not conducive for your body, and you can't feed yourselves. But I love you, bro. And
You
I
wanna drop the
apologize
donation?
for messing up
Yeah.
for messing up the class.
That's all right.
While he was on that topic, I gotta say that
Yes,
the
please.
FDA,
This is, I want to make this so.
Food Drug Administration, just approved
Thank you, bro.
genetically modified salmon.
Yes.
Go.
They
What?
said by 2017
I saw
there will
it.
be no real salmon on the shelf on the planet.
That's right.
Oh.
They can clone all of them.
Remember that.
That
Yeah,
is
fish-
not
fish
authorized.
Yeah, they clone.
It's been approved
That's
last
true.
week.
I saw something even weirder than that. I saw strawberries that are blue that were crossed with some type of
Blueberry.
no, not even. It's a cross with some type of fish that
God damn.
yeah, some type of fish that comes from the Arctic, so that it'll never overfreeze.
Splicing tomato seeds, tomato genes.
I know. It was just that thing.
So it never. So the strawberries never go bad. And so I'm thinking I don't want to
Tomatoes.
strawberries that might have taste like fish or something. You might get the wrong strawberry.
So
It
I
might
opened
taste
up a
like
doorway.
fish.
When
Yeah,
all
you
of this
did.
came out. I like this though. Because
Yeah.
I do key things. Some things I don't have. I have to speak in other classes about. I don't want us to lose train of thought. Thank you. And that's a good question. And that's why the music is promoting depth. Oh, yes.
I'm thinking like vegans might want to eat strawberries and now they can't because they're crossed with fish.
I eat strawberries there.
And mice, genes, and tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's called genetically modified organisms. Look it up, GMO.
That word is scary.
Yeah.
Genetically modified? Think about what that means. dog.
Modified means
It
change.
means another label to identify the foods that you need to avoid.
Right.
Spend more money.
But if you go in a time machine and go back 40 years, you can't tell the humans back there that you can modify genes.
They already was doing it.
Yeah, but we weren't aware of it then.
Do you know how long Monsanto was the corporation that this?
Monsanto, yeah.
Okay, and I didn't want to. So we going to this. I was trying to stay in music, but we went to Monsanto. So basically, what we finding out is that something is altering your genes. Ding 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 ding. That's what I wanted to open up. The vibrations that are being produced are altering your genealogical operation, which then affects your behavior. That's the bottom line. It's all sickness.
The behavioral manifestation of what you consume.
Yes. If your thoughts are already low, and then I gave
But
you.
it's deeper than that. You are what you hear. And,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? See,
You are composed of the four to five elements of nature: earth, wind, water, fire, and spirit, or what they call ether.
So
right?
the cocktail they had to do, the cocktail they had to put together to control you had to encompass all of that.
All five elements. You're always in the pentagram. See, here we go. Back to this again. Back to magic and science. Guess that's where New Age and spirituality and all this goes. Boom, and hits you right there.
This class does shit for you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
What about the flower of life and the seed of life and the egg of life?
All of that is a part of it.
Cube.
I'm going there. Just let's follow me. I just made a segue. Y'all took me way. Yes, that's cool. That's it. We're all masters in here. We all students, but we all teachers. So, hey, connect the dots. Connect the dots, and then that's how you get answers. That's what you call research. When you do research, all you're really doing is connecting dots. You're going back to search for something to get forward into the future. Certain things that have happened or things that are happening are connected to things that have already happened. To comprehend the totality or the power of what's happening, you're going back to the first event that you kept in your record. Record. Got it. Chord. So you're connecting the dots. You're connecting the knots.
That's why they call it a record. Huh?
Yes. to reconnect you to things that have happened already. You always can speak to your ancestors. They are in your genetic records. But when you keep putting thoughts and ideas in children's heads that makes them look at the past as something lowly and barbaric or contaminated or less developed than you are, when you paint those types of pictures to children, you give them the wrong idea of the past. So they can't tap into the record. They can't tap into the cord that connects them through time and space. Now they live in out of place. That's another thing the scriptures say in Romans chapter 1, verses 19 to 25. They hate or despise the ancient.
You said Romans 1, 19
Romans
to
chapter
25?
1, verses 19 through 25. Are you with me? We on the train still. It's the chain. We got the chain together. Chain gang still here? All right, we on the train. We didn't lose it. Thought forms of speech, occult significance of speech. Our thoughts affect the energy of our subtle and physical bodies. The stronger and more focused our thought processes, the stronger the effects. Go back, rewind the tape, brother Levi. Our thoughts affect the energy of our subtle and physical body. Since y'all got my pen, you can go next to that sentence, be together, and write the word psychosomatic, the effect that thoughts and emotions have on the body's organs.
No, you're going to spell that.
Psychosomatic.
P-S.
P-S-Y-C-H-O-M-A-T-I-C. Psychosomatic.
What page is this on?
This is on the second. Excuse me.
God bless.
That's the
Second
second paragraph where the underline
The
starts.
second page, where all my italics are. Go down to the second paragraph where it's all underlined. Psychosomatic.
Bless you.
You okay, man?
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the party.
Look, right here. Yeah. That first
Yeah,
line.
they do have some.
Oh, okay, got you. Thank you.
Ooh,
Man,
go get some tissue.
God
Go get
bless.
some tissue, man. Yeah, that's all right. Take your time. Ain't gonna miss nothing. All right. Oh, there, we just got some tissue right there.
Oh,
There
Hold
it
on.
is. Here, right?
Something on those is like I got terminologies.
oh boy.
Now, that's cool. We got
Okay, yeah.
we in it right now. Are we together?
Yeah.
Romans. I'm just gonna throw some verses out there. You can go into your scriptures.
Okay.
Just to show you that this stuff is in the book that's in your grandmom's house on the shelf.
That same
Or on the
page.
elders. Ah, thank you. Our thoughts affect the energy of our subtle and physical bodies. The stronger and more focused our thought processes, the stronger the effects. Thoughts mold the universal energy that surrounds us and is a part of us. The universal energy shapes the patterns within our energy field into forms and shapes that affects us on all levels. Part of working with the power of speech is understanding the concept of thought forms. Every time someone says a word, it gives a firing off in your memory bank, in your brain cells. And the word produces an image inside. If I say light bulb, automatically you know what a light bulb is, don't you?
Mhm.
And if I was to give you a piece of paper and I said the word light bulb, you would draw what?
The light bulb.
So that lets you know that everything you say has a form. Everything you say out of your mouth creates an actual shape and form. And the more you repeat it and breathe it, the more energy that thought form picks up. Now, if you get 20,000 people to speak about murdering each other or murdering, what kind of energy are you going to create in the earth?
Somebody's going to die.
Thank you. Please don't make me feel guilty for telling the truth right now. Because my head is already on the platter with them. But I'm going to tell all of them, I don't care. You're killing my children. You're killing my family. You're killing the planet. So I don't care anymore. It's truth. second. Thought forms are thoughts and ideas, energy patterns which take on a particular form when given shape by our thinking. This can work to our benefit or our what? Detriment. Skip that. You can read the other part on your own. I'm nailing this thing straight up. We're going to get this thing taken care of, so I'm going to give you something powerful. Everybody say, I am.
I am
Who I am.
who I am.
Give you a little ancient Kemetic science. The universe was spoken into existence when God said her name. Have you heard that before? Go back into your religious text.
I am that I am.
Everything that was created was given a what? Everything was given a name. All life was spoken into being, into existence. Nuk puk nuk. I am who I am. That's off the walls of the pyramid. That's Kemetic language. I just spoke to you in the language. Everybody say nuk.
Nuk.
Pu.
Poo.
Nuk.
Nuk.
I am that I am. That's the Creator's name in Exodus. When you say Jehovah, which is Yahweh, 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 I am that I what? Am. The universe was spoken into existence. Kepara, kepara, kepara. Ra. The very word Ra, when you see it written in hieroglyphs, is a mouth with an arm extended with an axe. The mouth represents speech coming into existence. The arm represents the action, and the axe represents power. That's on the walls. Everything was spoken into existence out of the mouth of the Most High. You can even see it in the feminine form. When they talk about Kali. Kali is the ancient Indian goddess with the skulls around her neck, with the swords. The skulls around her neck are not just skulls. They also represent units of sound and power in the Hindu tradition, or the Indus Kushite, which later was turned into the Hindu tradition. In every culture around the world, they will let you know life was spoken into existence. That's why I said to you from the scripture, at the tip of the tongue live life and. So what you repeat to yourself is the energy that you produce in your what? Self. That's why they make boxers train saying affirmations to themselves over and over again. You create the environment that you want from the music that you listen to over and over again. When you get her home or you get him home, you say, I want to get you in the mood. You put on some music that make you feel like what? Getting in the mood. So hey, what will be against putting music on that will get you to stand up? Not that in the congregation say it. Right? Real. All of this is in the scriptures. Everything I quoted was from the book of Psalms and Proverbs. And here's the trick about the Bible. Psalms is the chant. Psalms is the cry. Psalms is the song. Out to the universe, to the Olum. Yahweh Olum. Hamud Olum. Dua. Yahweh Olum. Praise to the Creator, the all in all, the universe. That's what I just said. Now, the next book is Proverbs. That's the instructions. So after you call out to the universe, you get a what? Answer. Come on. We in it today. This is the real secrets of the mystic power of these teachings. What is the largest book in the Bible? The book of?
Is it Proverbs?
One before it. Thank you.
Psalms.
Somebody was in trouble and they sung out and they called, help me what? Please. And the instructions came back. Do so and so and so and so, my son. That's Proverbs. Is it good? I'm teaching you something that's going to save lives today. If you wake up in the morning, be mindful of the first thing you say to yourself. Even after prayer is what you believe in, or meditation. What song did you play for yourself this morning? What is the soundtrack of your life? Because whatever you putting in the soundtrack of your life, that's the track you running on. And all life is produced by what? Sound, vibration. Come on, don't leave me out. Yeah. Just think of how many brothers and sisters are gone. Or how many people have been socially influenced by this crap. And we keep asking what's going on, what's happening. And I keep looking on what's happening, and you feel like you're powerless. You can't say nothing. You can't do nothing. That's bull crap. We're going to do it. And the way we're going to do it is learning the power of how we use the what? Tongue. You create the world through your thought forms and your words, which words are thought forms. Got it? Cool, let's keep moving. We're going to get this thing done. The occult significance of speech. Language and the words and sounds that comprise it is poorly understood. Misconceptions abound. It is presumptuous of humanity to think that its nature is self-evident, or that we know all that we need to know simply because we speak it. Are we here? Philosophers have always been greatly interested in it, and its psychological connections to humanity. Language and its expressions is of central importance to understanding our thought processes. It is critical to realizing our spiritual aspects and how those spiritual aspects interplay with our life on physical levels. Linguistics is the study of language, but there is also what could be termed as metaphysical linguistics, how language affects us beyond the physical realms. Skip some of this. I'm going to stay to my italics, because I'll be here all day. You can read the rest when you go home, or do your thing. Hey. Anyway, I'm doing right brain, left brain right now. Because I know what happened. Y'all will get bored and go into another zone. I know y'all very well. I know myself. Love you, family. So here we go. Those who sought to learn the occult significance of language and the power of words had to first unlearn the previous use of words and refrain from ordinary methods of talking. Let that resonate for me. Go back and read that line. That italics again. Read it again. Read it again. Read it again. I know you're like, you're giving me no commands. But read that. Because you'll understand the difference between you and a lawyer. You think you speak in the same language, you're not. You know the difference between you and a doctor. You think you speak in the same language, you're not. The difference between you and a graffiti writer. You think you're reading the same language and speaking the same words, and you're what?
You're not.
You're not. Language is a science. Speaking and doing poetry and singing is a science. Every time you open your mouth, you are creating a new world. So if you think you know these words means, you're sadly mistaken, especially with the miseducation and the bullcrap they gave us. You ask adults to give you a root word, they don't know what you're talking about. I said prefix, they like, huh? I said suffix, they like, I said these are elementary lessons you should have had. And
second grade, first grade.
Right, phonics. Now, hey, beautiful family members, raise your hands up like this, because I'm about to show you a trick. This is how powerful language is. Everybody say phonics.
Phonics.
Everybody say phoneme.
Phoneme.
Everybody say phonecia.
Phonecia.
Where is phonecia? Close, but that's not where Phoenicia is. Come on, Phoenicians.
God damn.
It is Egypt. Well, what part? I'll give you the biblical term, Canaan land.
Oh.
What is the land of the Canaanites? It's North Africa.
North Africa.
Phoenician, phonics, phonetics. The first alphabet that the Greeks in the Mediterranean learned from were the Canaanites. North Africans who got on ships, who did trade and educated the people who you call the Greeks. gave them the alphabet. So therefore, when you trace the word phonics and phonetics, you're going to go back to the people who gave them the alphabet. Phoenicians. It's you, black people. And I'm saying that to everybody. Hello. Now you understand the power of black music? Now you understand the power where rap music coming from, where reggae is coming from? They label it. We live it. They label it. We live it. Care nothing about them labels? You see anybody sitting around when your spirit hits you to say a certain thing a certain way and write it and draw it a certain way? You're not waiting for them to. Are you with me?
It just happens.
Right, because you're under a mandate. You got me? And that's a spiritual ancestral mandate. Hip hop did not just start in the 70s. That's what historians like to write. But those who do this art form and have been doing it for a long time know better. And that's why we have to correct the story. We have to tell our story, my story, which has been hidden and made a mystery. Instead of hysterectomy and beating up my women. Yeah. Hysterectomy to disconnect you from your true history. His story that he keeps hissing in your ear. Yeah.
While we on letters, let's play the BL game like we did last year.
Oh, remember that one?
Yeah.
All right, well.
I taught it to everybody I meet. Let's do it.
You remember, it messed your head up. You still trying to figure it out.
I haven't found one yet.
You can't find one.
I haven't found
I
one.
want you inside of this English linguistic language or word structured tongue we speak. Give me one good word with the two letters BL in the front of it.
Can't. Block, blasphemy, bleed.
Come on, go.
Black.
Black. We made the word black into something good. But when you look at the word black, how it's used in English,
Black
and it also means bleak, it also means bleach, it also means blasted, it also means blasphemy, it also means what?
Void of light.
Thank you.
evil.
We made the term black beautiful because what we did was we flipped the meaning of the word socially and psychologically, spiritually, so that we can survive and begin to become a new people.
It doesn't identify a nation either.
Yeah, it doesn't. But when we talk about blackness, we talking about something on a spirit plane.
Yeah.
That's what we as Africans did with it. But in the English tongue, if you take away our spirit use of a word, connotation,
In Dutch English, you can't find it.
you can't find one good word with BL in it.
Bludge.
What did you say?
Bludge.
Bludge?
Bludge.
Bledge?
Oh, he just taught me something.
What word is that?
Bludge. It's like, or basically, it's like smashing your hand.
There we go. See, I challenged you and you went right into the trap. When you what? Smash something. Why are you smashing stuff?
Destroy it.
Oh, I didn't.
And he find me one positive meaning in the English language with the BL tonality, with those consonants.
Blast.
Margin.
Huh?
Blast.
And even that's not one. You was better off saying bliss.
Whoa.
Blessings come from bleeding an animal. Because every time they bless something, they had to sacrifice something or someone.
Yup.
Yeah.
Something had to die.
See, even that word, I'm sorry, we use it a lot. That's why in the conscious decoding of word and spiritual use of language, we get into what we call etymology, which is the origin of words and the psychology behind the terms. And you'll start to realize we have been put into a certain state of mind via the undercurrent of where we're coming from. We're coming from old Victorian culture,
Right.
old slave colonial culture, women-hating culture.
Yep.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. Oh, yes. Because we got something in common that most people don't know, but I'm going to show you in the history. You see, family, sometimes the ancestors work a certain way. Your family, you know that, right? Oh, yeah.
Set here
You
for a reason.
about to learn something.
I was
You know where I'm
to
about
say-
to go.
I was about to say the
Don't
marriage
give it away, don't give it
contract.
away.
Well,
Don't give it
No.
away.
the marriage contract. Well, back in like the 1800s, like if you was in a marriage contract, well, you gotta think that women in general weren't thought of as, on the same level as men.
Oh, that's a whole
So
other thing.
in
We're
the,
not
in,
even.
the, in the, in the
that's part
marriage
of it.
contract, wasn't really a contract because you have to have a contract between two folks, at least two folks.
Right.
So the marriage
That's
contract was really a contract with the man.
Right.
Himself.
Well, because women
In a legal
will view this.
sense.
When you say somebody is your wife, you're saying that they're your property. Because the old English word
There you
wife
go.
means property.
And
But-
women were basically slaves.
And that's why they called it husband, as in husbandry, as bringing forth animals on a farm. So now I would have to say, thank you for bringing in the old English. You open up doors because like, we know each other.
Because women weren't allowed to, in a legal sense, they weren't allowed to own really anything.
Right, that's
Like
wife. With means property.
you
Husband,
couldn't even inherit anything.
husband is a person who breeds animals. Husbandry. Go look up the definition.
Mhm.
So all of this is based on old English farm culture. Landlords. We still using words like landlord,
Lord of the land.
Lord of land.
Or lot.
Yeah.
Lot. You know what I mean?
And-
An empty space. Or a lot.
Pardon
Empty
me.
space.
Parking. Registration. Who's the regent? Who's the king? All the language is still codified in that because we're subconsciously still operating in it. And there's only one real royal kingdom that's still being recognized on the earth, and it's the youngest one. That's England. The British royal crown, it still exists. But it exists off of everybody else. Are you with me? So I'm there. I'm going somewhere else, though. I ain't even want to go that deep yet. How about the fact that King James tied up thousands of European women with their arms to their ankles and dropped them in the water?
He did that.
King James was a bad
He
MF.
tortured and threw thousands, not just, listen, he enslaved, first of all,
He was a
I'll
raving
start with
homo.
This guy. He created money based off of how many African bodies he got in slavery and called it a guinea. That's how many African bodies to a gold coin. Okay? King James was listen to the word, witch hunter. How many women in England was considered a what? What does the word wit mean?
Intelligence.
Thank you. It means that you're smart. So he took all the intelligent women who knew about the science of nature, who would be his opposing army, his opponent, and took all of them and murdered them on the basis that they knew the sciences of alchemy. What's the symbol for Wicca? The five-pointed star.
With a circle.
Who gave them that?
We did.
Thank you very much. See the game? Because we all know that really what we call magic and witchcraft is nothing more than really other tools used to fight in war. I'm not here to play no games. They can say what they want right now. This is the records. What we call witchcraft magic is nothing more than science, alchemy. And King James, anybody that opposed his power, he threw them overboard. And thousands of women, white women, and black and if you thought that was bad, what do you think they did to us? The masters.
Nobody knows the math on that.
Oh, they know.
The total math?
They don't like to talk about it.
It's 7 zeros behind that. 7.
I'll put it to you like this. When they write about the Salem witch hunts, the first person they say that died in the Salem witch hunts in Michigan, upstate,
Yeah.
was a woman that they say was a West Indian by the name of Tuchiba. Tuchiba. She was the first person that was killed in the Salem witch hunts.
Salem, which?
It's a black woman.
Yeah.
They don't talk about her name too much. But after they got her out the way, they said, oh, let's get the rest of them. That's what all these movies that Hollywood, what's the name of that?
What state was
Gilmore Girls? What's their names?
No, the four
Gilmore Girls. The Gilmore Girls and all that stuff that come on TV about the witches. Y'all think that stuff is funny? They live in it. They do it.
Wow.
And that's your science that they're using.
The Craft. The movie called The Craft.
The
where
Craft.
Where the four
Vampires and all of that stuff is nothing more than a slap in the face. To say people who have learned the science of transcendental alchemy African sciences. People who know how to defy death through vibration.
Questions.
Yes, I know y'all knew you was coming. Come
The
on.
movie, and I'm sure most of everybody's seen this movie, Flatliners.
Yes. Old school. You went back. Oh my God, you went back on me. When they pulled the ball back across the death threshold,
Yeah.
when they had the machine, the EQG, and
Yeah.
they talking to him subconsciously, making him go into different portals. He almost got flatlined and got stuck over there. And they had to send other people to become flatliners to pull him back. That's all you. All they're doing is studying old mysticism from Afro-Asiatic nations, black people, right? And then experimenting with it and putting it into modern science. Make you look at the Bushmen and say, see how primitive they are? This is what Europeans are doing. And make you look at the movies and their technology and say, wow. That's because they turned off your primal mind. They made you scared of your own ancestral culture. And demonized you. Yes, sir. Hey, it's all good.
So they took the good that we gave them and turned it against us as a bad.
Yeah,
There you
sure
go.
did.
There
That's
you go.
exactly how you
It's
do
in
it.
the Bible. They said
Yes.
witchcraft is evil. Don't
Oh,
do witchcraft. And that's our sciences.
And now, what's one of the number one, this not only did he tap into it, but now I'm going to make you tap even further. What's one of the number one growing philosophical, spiritual movements on the planet? New Age.
Yeah.
Shamanism.
It came up in the 80s, then it dipped, and now if you really peep everything, New Age is swinging what? Right back up. And you can tell by the art, the fashion, and the concepts that's being spoken about. And you look at the internet, you start to notice one of the number one things that people are tapping into on the net is what? Philosophy, conspiracies, and New Age.
Propaganda.
And propaganda. Which all go hand in hand. Are you with me? Are we together? We on the train? Good. Yes.
So you can trick people up when you're conscious. When they say, "Oh, he's just a witch doctor,"
Yeah.
you could say to them, "What type of doctor is he?" You said witch doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I know you meant it like a low.
Yeah, but that's true. He was right for making that statement, even with the play on the words.
Right.
What doctor is he or she?
Yeah.
This is a game. Nobody's gonna. Do you realize they have thousands of people walking around with ancient insignia and symbols on? And when you walk up to them and ask them, "What's that on your uniform?" It's the medical symbol.
It's like,
And I'll be like, "For real?" Oh, well, no.
Can't see it.
But see, they don't even use words proper. It's the medico symbol. Yes, I say okay. As in the medico, as the Medici, as the magus, medical, magi, medi. These are all Latin terms for magicians. And pharmacy, pharmakia, which in Latin means sorcery. As in the two intertwining snakes.
That is definitely sorcery.
Which is the kundalini, which is the spine, which is the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. And the ball, which represents the skull. And the wings, which represents the equilibrium of your body. Which is the ancient African symbol on the pyramid walls being held by Jehuti, who you know in the Greek as Hermes. All magic symbols. All ancient African totem symbols that is here to give you information. They raised up a whole society of people that are symbolically illiterate. Illettered. That's what illiterate really means. Illettered, meaning someone who's not lettered. And symbolism is what? Geometric shaped symbols and concepts that are being spoken to you through them. And when you don't know how to read a symbol, you get caught up. As bad as not knowing that you got a bottle of poison in your hand. Are you with me? We on the train together? Good. Let's finish it up, because I know, was that a tangent?
that was
Cool.
No.
All right, good.
I
Hey,
just
I'm
have
used.
to move my car. I don't
Oh,
want
hey,
to-
go ahead. Oh, by all means.
I don't want to get tickets, you know.
Oh, no, we don't want you to either.
I hope it's still there.
So the line that I was on, that's why I said I want you to read the line again. When I say something, I know I don't seem like much to you. I void myself inside of this physical vessel to play a game. I don't have to be here. None of us have to. We all chose to be here. So this moment in time, take serious. Because they don't come around all the time for us all the time. When we come, we speak, we share, we hug, we laugh, we learn. Please take it serious. I try to keep it light so, it stays fun. Because I know when things get too heavy, people start going places. And I don't want you to feel hurt. I want you to feel good walking away. Because this is a place of joy and learning. Okay? Those who sought to learn the occult significance of language and the power of words had to first unlearn their previous use of words and refrain from ordinary methods of talking. Peace. Right? Okay, we here. Just making sure. So, if you ever watched the movie Jedi, Star Wars?
Yeah.
You remember the part when Yoda gets Luke Skywalker?
Yeah.
And Yoda gets him to hold up something for a certain period of time with his mind and he drops it?
Yeah.
And then what does Yoda say to Luke? That's all, and this is all wordplay, by the way.
Yeah.
He says, you must unlearn what you have learned.
Did say that.
Now, how many words have I used in going into the deeper significance and symbols of them? You think I can do that if I was holding on to, that's not real, that can't be that way? The fear and the blockage of programmed belief systems, let them go. God is not mad at you for letting go of some bull crap. You lucky, you boy. You made me retain my tongue. I had to grab my tongue right there. But for real, I mean, seriously, I got to hit you like every day on an everyday spirit. I cannot talk to you, trying to stay in some box. I don't want to be Mr. Boxman with you. And I hope you never want me to be Mr. Boxman. I didn't say on square, I said box. It's a difference. Box is, and it's restricted.
When I think box, I think jail cell.
Jail cell. Oh, wow, he hit me with another word.
I think of a haircut.
That too.
Oh no. That's so old.
Jail cell. Now listen to this real clearly. Brother, I'm looking at my brother as he sit here. I watch people's facial expressions and that lets me know whether we doing good. Jail cell. And inside of your body is a what?
Cell.
And when they make your phone work, it works by a
Cell.
And when they put your ass in the cell, you're going to work.
Oh.
And you're going to generate electricity, money, voltage, currency for them. It's interesting that America can only get its people to work right when they're inside of a what?
So,
Prize zone, a prism, where you get a chance to look at your mind, body, and spirit. What they're doing in prison is what we did when we were free. It's called learning discipline. X out all other bullcrap that niggas like to do inside of a jail cell. Yes.
Is that why folks work in cubicles?
Thank you. And that comes from China. That's old too. You've been doing this. See, here's the deep thing about it. Why wait till when I'm older to try to make me reform? Did you hear anything about a jail cell in Africa? Before the existence of white folks coming into Africa, have you ever heard of a jail in Asia?
Wasn't in the language.
No. When did you start going to jail?
After slavery.
After slavery. So jail is nothing but a segue to what? In the Constitution it says, any person who has been found guilty of a crime, they are placed into what? Work brigades. That's in the Constitution. So what is jail? Jail is nothing but a segue back to slavery. What causes crime? Poverty. Where did poverty come from?
Lack of resources.
Where does that come from? Another thief that nobody can capture, that nobody can slap, that nobody can punch, that nobody can kick. It's the people that's been teaching you your whole damn life and making Africa a cursed thing in your memory. Making everything that's good for you bad for you, and taking everything that's bad for you and making it what? Good.
For them.
Taking all your science.
Hey, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be a bad guy right now, but this is a divine bad guy. So if you understand what I meant by that, this book mentions your ancestors, that land. That's the name of your ancestral land, 80 times. There's not one aspect of this book that don't take place in Africa. But you can't get a preacher,
Yes.
the average preacher, to
Levi.
talk about Africa once inside of a church.
Hell
Levi, would you stop it?
Hell
I'm
no.
sorry, I'm gonna be the bad guy. They can come after it.
Go ahead.
Bring it.
Tell
You telling the truth.
Africa's
Take cursed
cursed in
part
the
of the
book.
book.
Canaan, Ham,
How they
all
handle,
cursed.
How they handle the Quran.
Same thing.
Mm.
I'll say it.
Good, bro.
Prophet Muhammad is a descendant from Egypt.
serious.
He could not even practice most of the traditions that are in Islam today until he left out of Mecca and Medina. In Ethiopia, it did not have its formation in Mecca. It did not have its formation in Medina. The oldest masjid is in Ethiopia, where they were given permission to live for 7 years outside of the enslavement and the abuse of the Arabian government. And the year 600 to 700. Now, come follow me on it and bring anything they want to say. We can take them to Ethiopia. The first city that actually accepted Islam was the city of Harar in Ethiopia, because they could not remember. All Muslims was deemed get out of Medina by sundown, or you will be executed. Go get the movie Muhammad. It's right there. It's in the Quran. Why nobody want to talk about it? Because you black, nigga. Come on, let's go. First time anybody prayed in Islam. The Orthodox religion was an African voice. That Allah Akbar, that's African. The first time you ever heard that came from a black man's mouth.
Wasn't it a lot?
Even the idea of a God, Allah, a lot, the star, the crescent, everything you're thinking about is already there. Yes.
Isn't it deep how what you just said? The whole book is nothing but African, but you cannot get anybody in the church to talk about it.
And
I'm
any
just
other
like,
religions.
you live off of this book, and this is the book that you base it. But who are these people that you talk about?
They're saying it don't matter, skin color don't matter, because Jesus shed
Anytime it's
blood
important
for all of that.
and it has anything or any inkling connected to you, that's going to remain called hidden mysteries. Why do you think people pay so much for secret societies? To join a secret society, you go through a lot of shit, don't you? How much money do you have to pay?
How much other stuff?
How many people have to deem you worthy of it? Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
All your information is locked into the world's greatest power and mysteries. Because one thing we can't have is the so-called Negro. His memory or her memory being switched back on. We can't have people who have strong talent. And I'm saying it to everybody in this room. You can bring up any country. I can tell you the African ancestry of the country, Europe included, and the information that's in Europe that's conducted and connected to black people. And if I start speaking about it, you'll start seeing stuff shut down around you. Because they got to keep the hate going. They got to keep the misconception of what life is on earth going. And the number one person that they got to keep dumb are black men. Oh, yes. And why am I going to particularly talk about the men? Here's why. Because intuitively, crap. Now who's going to stand up? That's why she always found herself standing up all the time by her what? Self. And then she do sick things, and then in the reversal, and it goes to him, and it goes back to her, and it goes back to the children, and then it goes back to them, and then everybody you meet.
Sick.
If you knew how valuable you were and how great you were, would you do half of the things that you do?
Because when you know better, you do better.
And I'm going to speak about your opinion. You ready for this one?
Come on.
Here's a homework assignment. You can write the book down, all of you. There's a book called The first one is David McRitchie. The Ancient and Modern Britons.
Oh,
Huh?
ancient
David
modern
McRitchie, The Ancient and Modern Britons, is going to show you the black origin of the British culture. It's going to show you some of the early Britons.
Oh, Britain?
Yeah, Briton.
Yeah.
Another one is the
What was that title again?
The ancient.
ancient and modern Britons. The other one is When the Moors Ruled Europe
That's a good one.
Oh,
by Stanley. I know you got that one.
That's a mean.
By Stanley Poole.
excellent.
David McWho.
David McRitchie. That's a T. Ritchie.
Can you repeat that?
The Ancient and Modern Britons by David McRitchie. Mhm. And the other one is When the Moors Ruled Europe by Stanley Poole. Let me give you one right here. The Queen of England is a descendant of an African woman. There's a, you need to hear this. There's a picture. I want you to go on your phone. You got a phone? You got a phone? Yeah, you. This one is special. This one's going to be a hit. I love this one. When everybody sees this, they say, oh, this is going to hit you. And the books are in here, and I can show you where it's at in the books. It's called 100 Facts About the Negro by James Rogers, one of the oldest African history books written by free, intelligent, and controlled black people, meaning in control of their thinking. I want you to push in Queen Charlotte Sophia of England. And I want you to push in image, painting of the Queen Sophia, Charlotte Sophia of England. And the painting is going to come up, and if you can get it in color, it's going to make you laugh. I'm not going to tell you what it looks like. It's interesting, and to see this blows everybody's brains. And almost the coat of arms of every major European group, right? When you go back and study their coats of arms, right? There's black faces on all their coats of arms.
She was black,
Queen Sophia was black.
but they have her as white.
No, see, you blow the picture up, you get a big picture, you see this big, fat, gigantic nose, and this big, gigantic lips of this light-skinned woman walking down the stairs. That's the Queen of England. There she go, you see? And you got different pictures painted out of different people. You see? Here she go. Yep, that's her. Do you see her? That's the Queen of England. Yeah, they black. That picture goes back to the early 1800s, late 1700s.
British royalty goes back.
Yes, it does. All this power is based on you. I'm sorry, I'm not running. Oh, shit.
Elizabeth's birthday, her 90th birthday is
Look,
coming up.
you excited? That shook you, didn't it?
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth's 90th birthday is coming up.
Mhm.
And she had her Diamond Jubilee 3 years ago.
Mhm.
That means she been in power for 63 years.
What's 6 plus 3?
Oh, shit. Here we go.
6 plus 3 is down.
I can go further into this stuff, but I'll stay
She's
right
about
here.
to be 90.
Are you seeing what I'm dropping to you?
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that I'm showing. I was behind the world that you believe in, where white supremacy or European power is bull crap. I had to catch it again, man. Thank you. You reminded me. Even the whole idea of it, the concept of it. If people in Europe, if more European people of straight European descent knew how much African ancestry was in their country, they'd snap. Some of them know, like in Germany. Germany was founded, or Germany was saved by a black man. If it wasn't for this black man today, most of Germany would have been totaled. There would be no Germany.
This black man, that's way before Hitler.
And in fact, this black man was the phoenix, African symbol. You okay?
Mm-hmm. The boys coming.
Okay. Maurice was the first one to actually wear that symbol. He is in the Church of Germany. He is the saint of Germany.
Saint Mark. Whoa.
Ain't that a mental, that's mental, isn't it? A place where a philosophy was created to kill off dark-skinned people was saved by a dark-skinned person. Demonic. Confusing.
Yo, he got streets and shit all through Europe, just like Martin Luther King got stuff over here. That boy was worshipped over there, damn
He
it.
still is. He's still in the church. His picture and his statue has not gone anywhere.
Yeah.
They're not going to show
We
us.
have the pictures in the school.
Wait, are you saying he was good or?
Oh, hell yeah.
If it wasn't for St.
So it
Maurice,
was like Martin Luther.
Yeah, Saint Mark. Nah, Martin Luther King was.
Martin Luther, that's a whole other. Please don't.
No.
When he compared Martin Luther King, we was talking about hero-wise. Yeah, but at his time, he was the Martin Luther King of Germany.
Right.
Because he worked for Maximilian, the army that was marching into Germany to do ethnic cleansing. They were murdering villages in Germany. He was a part of that army. He got to this particular point in Germany, found out that the people were Christian. This makes you think a little bit too, and said, "We ain't doing it." And trained the people to turn around and fight back the army, which later on saved German culture, German people. That's why he's a saint in the church. That means he's a savior. You don't put nobody as a saint unless they've done something great. Y'all all right? Everything good up there, Spitz?
Yeah,
All right. You feeling where I'm coming from? So we learning. So this is this idea that this is Africa, this is Europe, this is Asia, this is no. That's a colonized way of learning, that's a colonized teaching. All so-called human history is one story. We're all interconnected. You'll be surprised when you find African culture show up while in this colonized mind. But once you get out of the colonized mind, you're not shocked by anything. You are everywhere, and you've always been there. And I'm not talking about slavery, captivity. You understand where I'm coming from? We on the train?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we staying on it. Cool. Unlearn what you have learned. Get that poison out of your head. Yeah.
Could we get back
Yes.
our mind to the
Yeah, we're going to finish this.
the Hunger Games?
Okay, we're going to get there. All right, since we there and we on the tangent, you had to catch it.
Yeah.
Hunger Games is a movie that's about social control. But why are they calling it Hunger Games?
Yeah.
Well, the reason why it's being called Hunger Games, like the movie, all right, then the movie Hunger Games, everybody is living in districts across the planet. The planet has one name, Pan-Am, right?
Okay.
The word pan, when you use it in one sense, means global. Am, which it seems like an abbreviation for America, one America, one globe. What the globe looks like after world domination, global domination, when there was no more boundaries, there was no more borders, it's just one. What's up? Yeah, we in the zone. All right, we in the zone. Y'all chill. I can't do that. Right? I gotta do it. Thank you. Pan Am. One America, one continent, one country, one planet, one world, should I say, governmental structure. This is something that's being worked on right now also. That soon there will be no boundaries. There will be one card, they will just scan you, and you can go from place to place. Oh, you talking about a movie? I'm talking about real technology.
Be dead before it be a chip to me.
And in that,
They're going to sneak that shit.
since I've been knowing about this 20 years, I've seen the actual documents and blueprints. I remember when they decoded the DNA, and they say for the first time we got a sequence of the Human Genome Project. When that project was first released to the public by the DOD, they were collecting all the DNA samples from all the children born after, I should probably say, 97 or so. Or all their DNA sequences are inside of a computer chip. Every genome, gene sequence, every child born today, their gene sequence have been placed inside of a computer technology. Did what when they were there and how long ago? Just from the actual study of the territory and the computer technology. Study all the raw materials and all the different oils that's left on objects in the room. And see all the people who were there. People who have been to prison already. Some of their DNA samples have been put into the prison system, computer file.
Mine has 20 years ago.
Right, so therefore, when something happens in a crime, they do a DNA search of the space. They start looking for who the possible perpetrators were by the DNA.
That's how they do when you watch like Law and Order and stuff.
Yeah, but that ain't just Law and Order. That's real life. So now, to not get off of the subject, Pan Am is the one world order. You got people living in districts under food scarcity. And they're tired of living in poverty under the government of Pan Am. So they begin to fight. So they start to psychologically create a character and call her the Mockingjay. Create a propaganda figure for the people to follow behind. They call her Mockingjay. Now, they use a woman because they're changing the score. They changing the revolution back to the original government, matriarchal government.
Say it again, Levi.
Because the earliest governments on the earth were women. So they create the Mockingjay. Now, let's play a little game with characters. Remember, we're dealing with symbols. Come on, we here. What does the Mockingjay look like in the movie? She has, come on,
Long
man.
black hair.
Long black hair. She has what color eyes?
Brown.
And she's Euro what? European. But we living on a new Pan Am. You think she's just European?
It's a mixture.
Thank you. They're giving you hints to what's happening. And who becomes the president of Pan Am after Mockingjay takes out her programmer?
It's Elizabeth.
Thank you. And what nationality is she?
She makes European everything.
The leader of Pan Am after Mockingjay kills the programmer, who was programming her to be the figurehead. And then when it was all over, she comes out.
Oh yeah, the black lady.
And the black lady becomes president.
Yep. She was already president of District 8.
Right, and she tells Mockingjay, okay, now you can kill the original Pan Am programmer.
President
Snow.
Snow wasn't even there if you peep by this time. Snow was the younger guy. They put the older guy up there. He was Snow's programmer. She tells him to kill the original programmer. She winds up killing her programmer. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So they put her under hiding, and the black woman becomes president. That's all a social programming game, based off of real political social structures. And one of the Earth's biggest problems right now is how we're going to feed everybody.
True.
Hence why they will call the movie Hunger Games. Yes.
But she doesn't kill Snow, she kills Coin.
Coin, which is the woman. On the stage, she takes the arrow when she's pointing and she winds up killing her. It's all psychological. They're using real social events and philosophies and putting it in the movie. Yes.
I was just wondering, I'm not sure if this is right. It's like my own hypothesis. So basically, when he was talking about how foods, they were adding genetically mutated foods and having different types of foods, and then they only use the Hunger Games. But think about it. What if they're really arguing over real foods, the actual processed foods, instead of the fake foods, and they're giving the districts fake foods, and eventually they figure out about it, and then that's when it's a civil war, or a world war technically, because it's all world in one country.
Oh my God.
What?
Yo, brother.
Your job is in jeopardy.
Stand up. Stand up.
You in trouble.
Turn around. And say that to everybody again.
That's
I don't remember what I said.
Tweet over here.
All the districts were eating artificial food.
And then the higher district, which was the capital, they were eating the real processed foods, well, the real organic foods. And then after a while, they found out about it and they wanted to fight for it. That's why they called it the Hunger Games, because whoever won, their district will get the real foods. So it'll be actual growth growing.
That's the meaning of the movie. It's based on real things. Now, What is the masses of the world eating?
Process.
And what do people who have money, esteem, and honor, prestige in the society, what are they eating?
The real stuff. The real deal, holy for you.
The real deal. Spitz, you get that. Spitz, about that? Guys out there, they got it. So they, what is it? You mean to stand right here? No, oh, that's change. Go ahead, take it.
Thank you for breaking it down.
Yes.
Yeah, that was very good explanation.
Yeah.
And I think the book Hunger Games, we do sell it or we do have it, and if we don't, we can try to get it again.
I gotta go watch that movie.
That movie, all three of them is about
Read
that.
all 3 books.
I don't watch movies, man, but I have it. I stay away from that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You gotta read
I
all.
think I have to.
I read all.
How about the Terminator series?
Same thing. Same thing. I can go over there. Let me finish this real quick because I know we gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
It's time to get going. But all the people, you know, they still shopping. We ain't stopping the flow here. We'll keep on going. Y'all good?
Yeah, we are.
I'm gonna finish this. All right. So, thank you.
Hey, what you need change for? I'm about to give you 10. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Name.
Yeah. Y'all out?
Just give him the whole.
Huh? We good. Everything is good.
I'll give you 10. You donating 5?
I'll wait for a second. We got it.
That's my 10.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna stay a little later.
Yeah.
And because I had some other stuff I need to talk to you about.
Oh yes.
So that's why I made sure I brought myself to the class.
Here you go. Thank you, brother. I hope you enjoy the package and everything. Thank you. All right. It's Dr. Ben.
Thank you.
So y'all getting a double dose today, boy.
Right?
Whew. This is what I'm talking about. These are the building sessions I want. Yes. All right. Let me scoot through this thing. Words and their sounds vibrate different parts of the body, different chakras or energy stations, different organs, different emotional mental states, and different states of consciousness. Some have power over the physical, and some can quicken the emotions to the depth from which the word arises, and how illuminated the individual is that uses it. The individual that uses it. All right. This is why some individuals' words will penetrate. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Hey, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'll be back again sometime.
Hey, anytime. Sundays, 4 o'clock.
Awesome. Thank you.
Uh-huh. This is why some individuals' words will penetrate into our hearts as spoken in the tongues of flame. That's preachers. My ancestors, I know. While others may say the same thing 100 times, it still does not penetrate. Are y'all feeling that?
Yeah.
Our minds are reflectors of words. We can build barriers to many things we do not wish to hear, and even to those things we do. Yes, the word has power, but it is not just what we say, it is also how we feel, how we express it, and the purpose behind the expression. We have all experienced the power of language. We say something humorous and we laugh. Okay, move on. Moving on this thing. Language and thought occurs independently, and yet there is an intimate relationship. Our thoughts operate with a very fine form of energy. One thing cannot be easily discerned in the physical realm. It sets up the matrix of energy that we are wishing to manifest. That's why I kept saying, or speaking on the whole thing of repeating things to yourself, or music that you keep playing, or ideas and feelings that promote you to create a certain picture or whatever it might be, but that thought form. When you keep that same thought form going around, it produces an environment. I got to keep pushing this. This is real. You keep teaching people how to murder and kill, and you keep putting that on a backbeat, and your head start rocking to it, and you talking about, man, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. I'm the number one culprit. I'm a musician and a rapper. I know what it's about. But if you keep saying, I'm going to kill him, I'm going to kill him, you're going to find yourself in a situation always having to kill. Or watching out for somebody killing who? You. And if you got 20,000 people walking down the street yelling at,
somebody getting killed.
that's the space you're creating.
Wow.
I have to teach the truth.
You're looking at a living example. I used to play certain songs when I wanted to go wreck something back in the 90s.
Did you?
I used to play Appetite for Destruction from NWA.
Whoa.
It would get me charged up, and then I would take a hit of syrup and some liquor, and it would happen just like that without even thinking about it.
Are y'all hearing this?
But without that, I would hesitate.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You needed your theme music. You needed the soundtrack.
I had to be guided by sound.
That's black people MO anyway. We got to flip that back to the original format. Who you killing? Who you robbing from? What you doing? Where you going?
Play certain songs when chicks came in.
I said that earlier. Did you hear when I said that?
No, can't.
Very
Like 10
Certain
minutes
music
late.
creates the certain trait to
Play some
move.
Barry White.
The chicks don't want to hear Barry White now. They want to hear. Never mind.
Thank you. Wow. Okay. So.
You got something about that deep voice that
Levi,
make
you
you
very
his root chakra.
Yeah, all right.
What
Between
deep
Barry
voice?
and Isaac Hayes.
All right now.
That's
Let's
what it
stay on
is,
it.
deep voice.
We're going to stay on it. Let's stay in it. Let's stay on it. Language and thought occurs independently, and yet there is an intimate. Oh, we read that part. Keep moving.
See y'all next week, family.
Okay.
Please.
Please.
Catch up with you. Yes, catch up with you. Not that much. I'll catch up with you. Believe me. Thank you. Please. All energy follows thought. When we give those thoughts vocalization, that energy is giving great impulse towards manifesting. If we tell ourselves that we are clumsy or uncreative, then we see circumstances which prove it to us. We say to ourselves, that's so stupid of me. That's unbelievable. That's in quotation, right? And then we wonder why things don't work out for us. It's what we subconsciously keep repeating, thinking that it's cute. It's not cute. I'm guilty. I'll be the first one. We all slip up and do it. We've been programmed to do it. The more you catch yourself doing it, the more you set your morning up on that vibration, you can feel it the rest of the day. And all you got to do is a simple prayer or meditation to activate the sound to come on again. Certain music repeats through your mind. Certain words and feelings repeat through your mind over and over again. So I want you to find a piece of music, the most positive, inspirational music you can play. I want you to play it over and over again as you study or visualize for yourself. I want you to write down the visualization. I'm giving you some rituals, y'all. Some of you know them. And if you know them, hey, right on. I'm just here to help you validate. You ain't wrong. I got your back. All right? I want you to write down those visions. And I want you to put a candle next to them. Now, I don't want you to burn nothing down. Get a good candle. One that if you knock it down, it's going to go out. Because I don't want, and take anything that's going to burn around your candle away. And please, anybody out there that feels that candle burning and all that stuff is hocus pocus and evil and all that, well, I just ask you, why at the end of the Bible, God got 7 candlesticks lit?
There we go.
I'm just asking a question. See, I ain't scared. Because I've been already beat up. They already done called me all types of names, kicked me around. I done fought in all types of situations, whether it's in the education field, whether it's... I'm a musician. Come with it. I can survive it. Yes.
It says in the Bible, it's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
that's what I don't understand. I was like, lighting colored candles is wrong.
Don't watch me.
Listen, do they go to the captain? Do they go to the Pope in his house and tell him he wrong for lighting candles?
He got hundreds.
Do they go to the Jewish rabbis for going with his menorah and lighting his candles? Why's wrong when you light your candles? Because they know you trying to illuminate and give birth to something for you. I'm sorry, I'm coming from the ghetto mystic church of the revival of the spirit of black people. Come on.
No, that's a church. Write that down. That's a church. You need that to be a simple. Write
For real,
that
I gotta break this thing light because people be getting happy. All right, let's keep going. going. We finished that part. All right. Last chapter. There's something that I want you to read. Here it is. Skip right on down to speaking ritual words and sounds. Page 91. Because at the end of this, there's some things you can do. And we're going to do one, but not so much chanting a name. We're going to tone on a particular word, thought, form, concept. And really, sometimes when you get meditation music, try to get meditation music with no lyrics.
I can make copies of that CD if you want me to.
Oh yeah. Oh well, I got somebody I'm working with, so I got that's that's a project we started. Once we're ready,
I don't have the tape.
that means you're gonna produce.
I got 100 blanks, so
I'll be talking to you after class. Yes, sir. This right here is if you sped read it, this right here is gonna open up a chamber. Huh? Yes, you can. Oh, yes, thank you.
You in trouble.
You just did what I love, man. I'm gonna stop in certain parts. Go to the italics. Go ahead, go to the italics. Keep going.
Okay. It said, wait, that part right there.
Go ahead, keep going.
It is said that to know someone's name is to have power over them. There is much truth and misconception in this. Unless we know the metaphysics and all of the correlations and significance of the name, we cannot truly have power over it or use it to
The utmost. Reflect on that for a minute. He read it. Y'all heard it. I'll reread it again after. I'm just going to step back for a minute. Because I'm giving... You don't got it? Don't worry. Don't worry, please. We going to make sure you got it. I'll open up my book. Let me see. Damn, I must have gave them all away. Hold on, family.
Might have it, just don't.
You don't want to try. You don't know you
Yeah, you stopped at 67.
I did? With that one?
Yes.
All right. Some of them might be defective. That's all right. Take this one. I'm going to turn to the one that I have the book. I have the original. You okay?
Yeah, I was just gonna drop off a note.
Oh, yes. Please.
You know that I.
Thank you.
Yes, please drop it. I'm learning. Oh, man. She got me reading the paragraph.
I just wrote it in my notes.
Wow. You wrote that?
You know, I had written down my notes, and when I asked my car, I was like, maybe.
Thank you.
Like we-
What's your name? Write your number on here, too.
Okay.
So we can call you up for the next class.
That'd
Thank
be
you. That's
great. Thanks. I don't want to. I'm always gonna feel like a nerd.
Hey,
But
that's me.
why it is different for me.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And
I think about that when I think about like Tupac Shakur and MLK
yes.
and a lot of the others.
We met before. Did we meet before?
You gotta come in here.
Yeah, that's where I remember talking with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to call you for the next session.
Okay, that'd be great.
I'd like to talk to you about that. That message right there is real, and I'll show you where that's coming from.
Okay, I appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right, you have that? Give me the page numbers, because I have my original book.
91.